The morning started like any other in Oak Estates. I was enjoying my coffee, watching my 10-year-old son, Ethan, wait for the school bus. That's when I spotted her, Deborah Winters, or Karen, our HOA president, marching down the sidewalk with that familiar look of determination that always spelled trouble. In 3 years, Deborah had cited me for everything from my grass being a half-inch too tall to my mailbox being the wrong shade of blue, cerulean instead of the approved navy. She wielded her laminated badge like a police shield. "Good morning, Deborah," I called out, despite the knot forming in my stomach. She didn't bother with pleasantries. "I see you're waiting for the school bus again. The board has concerns about the noise, the exhaust fumes, and the wear and tear on our private roads. We're discussing a new bylaw tonight to prohibit commercial vehicles, including school buses." I nearly choked on my coffee. "You can't be serious. I'm a single dad with a job that starts at 8:30. "That sounds like a personal problem," she said dismissively. Before I could respond, we heard the rumble of the approaching bus. Instead of staying on the sidewalk, Deborah marched directly into the street, planting herself in the middle of the entrance to our cul-de-sac, arms crossed. The yellow bus slowed. The driver honked politely. Deborah stood her ground, shaking her head.
"I røst over."
"Deborah, what are you doing? You can't block a school bus." She turned to me with the smug smile I'd ever seen. "Actually, I can. As HOA president, I'm enforcing a preemptive safety measure. This is private property. Find another route." The bus driver opened his window. "Ma'am, I need to pick up the children. Please move aside." "You're trespassing with your commercial vehicle," she shouted back. I told her firmly that the roads were subject to public access laws and what she was doing was illegal. She insisted the bylaws gave her the authority. That was it. I pulled out my phone and dialed 911, maintaining eye contact with Deborah the entire time. "I need to report someone illegally blocking a school bus from entering our neighborhood. Our HOA president is physically preventing the bus from accessing our street." Deborah's eyes widened, but she lifted her chin defiantly. "Go ahead." The city police always side with official neighborhood governance. She pulled out her own phone to call the HOA attorney. The next 10 minutes were excruciating. The children grew restless, and parents started recording. Finally, 2 police cruisers arrived, lights flashing. The officers approached the scene. Deborah immediately launched into her explanation, her voice syrupy sweet. "Officer, I'm Deborah Winters, president of the Oak Estates Homeowners Association. I'm simply enforcing our policies regarding commercial vehicles on our private roads." The officer listened patiently, then turned to me and the bus driver. I kept it simple: regardless of any HOA policy, it's illegal to obstruct a school bus. The second officer conferred with his partner, then turned back to Deborah. "Ma'am, I need you to step aside and allow this bus to proceed. HOA regulations do not supersede state laws regarding obstruction of educational services." Deborah's face contorted with indignation. "Excuse me. I've just explained that as HOA president." "Ms. Winters," the officer interrupted, his tone hardening. "You are currently in violation of State Traffic Code 4324. You can step aside voluntarily, or we can discuss this further at the station. Your choice." For a moment, I thought she might comply. But then, in a move that left even the most jaded parents gasping, Deborah took a step closer to the officer and actually poked him in the chest with her finger. "Do you know who I am?" she demanded, her voice shrill. "I personally approved the landscaping variance for your precinct captain's koi pond last year. One phone call from me." She didn't get to finish that threat. The officer took a step back. "Ma'am, please put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest for obstruction of an educational service vehicle and for assaulting a police officer." The collective gasp from the crowd was audible. The officer calmly recited the Miranda rights as he handcuffed a sputtering Deborah. "This is outrageous. I'll have all your badges," she shrieked as they led her toward the patrol car. With Deborah secured, the bus finally entered the neighborhood. Ethan gave me a quick hug before boarding, whispering, "Dad, that was actually kind of awesome." The story made local news, complete with the viral cell phone footage. The headline, "HOA president arrested after blocking school bus," spread like wildfire. The emergency HOA board meeting that week was the most well-attended in history. The vote to remove her from the board was nearly unanimous. But the consequences didn't end there. The district attorney pursued charges for both the obstruction and the assault. Her brokerage firm placed her on indefinite leave, citing concerns about company values. When the verdict finally came, Deborah was found guilty on both counts. The judge, clearly making an example, sentenced her to 30 days in jail, 2 years of probation, a $3,000 fine, and 100 hours of community service, specifically directing school traffic at the local elementary school. As they led her out, Deborah's face was a mask of shocked disbelief. She still couldn't comprehend that her HOA presidency hadn't granted her immunity from the law. For once, she was completely speechless.